Welcome back to Line for Line. This is your very special host. This is Devon. I have a very special guest in the building. I have Mrs. Health and Wellness herself, Ashley. Ashley, how are you doing today?
I am great. How are you?
I'm actually doing pretty good. Getting ready for Christmas, New Year's, all that stuff. Got a couple
Yeah.
of days off of work, so I'm actually feeling good.
Oh, that's so nice.
True question is, how are you? What's new with you?
Everything's new with me.
Yeah.
Things have just been taking off like crazy.
Uh-huh.
We've been in Virginia now for almost 2 years and got into real estate even. So it's
Ooh.
kind of been that, mixture game. I say it's health and wealth and it's going really well.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
like
Yes,
in the real
ma'am.
estate, but taking off with fitness still as
Okay,
always.
gotcha. So just give the people at home on the train and the car ride home from work, just give them a little bit of your basic details, like who you are, what it is that you do, what you look to accomplish in the same.
Yeah. So, been in the fitness industry about, I'd say 8 to 9 years now.
Sure.
And my biggest goal is essentially just reaching the masses with, health and wellness and trying to get everybody to just essentially be their healthiest, be active, be living the movement lifestyle and not just being sedentary, getting
Oh,
everybody up and healthy. And then, so yeah, I have an online business
okay.
that took off about a year ago now.
Make sure you shout that out too, because people are want to
Yeah.
follow you too as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I'm Ashley.Fit on Instagram. And my website link is on there, but it's ashleyfitness.com, all one. And yeah, it took off about a year ago. People started reaching out to me. They're like, hey, what if I'm in California and I need plans? And I was like, oh, what if you are in California? I'm not there.
yeah.
So started building programs that way and started sending them out. And I was like, you know what? I should just start making this, turn into a website, turn into something that I'm just continually doing rather than just being
Uh-huh.
in the gym all the time. So that's what I do now. I got out of the gym setting and I'm just doing online and helping people that way. And then I obviously am doing the real estate on the other side.
Okay,
So
okay. Shout
yeah,
out, shout out, shout out. I know
yeah,
we're gonna be covering two things,
yeah.
and
This
that's
it's
totally
craziness.
okay as well too. When it comes to personal training, what was it that got you started?
Oh man, that's like how long we got. So grew up a tomboy, two older brothers, and just grew up in sports my whole life. I mean, I was like, if I did baton twirling, so I would go to baton twirling. Then it was like an hour later, you're at basketball practice,
Oh
and
wow.
then an hour later, maybe you're at volleyball practice, and you're just continually doing stuff. So love sports. Growing up with like at school, even recess was all with the boys,
Yeah.
right? Like I would try to do the cheerleading side, and I was like, sure, we'll be like the cute cheerleaders. And I was like, no, no, no. I was like playing touchdown, like or
Oh my god.
touchback football. I was playing everything,
Oh my god.
and I couldn't stop it. So I loved it playing sports growing up, and then got into high school. Had some injuries about sophomore year.
Oh no.
Yeah, shoulder was like done for after probably doing too many overhead sports, and so I just took a step back, and I was like, man, this really stinks. I just like started getting insecure. As you get older, you start feeling these insecurities like taper into your system. You're like, what is this?
Yeah.
So I felt like I was so behind, even though I'd been doing everything well and I still felt like I was athletic and kept up. I just felt behind at that point. So started kind of falling behind. And around 18 years old, I started gaining weight. And I
Oh
was like,
no.
yeah, like I was still doing cheerleading. I'd made varsity as a freshman. So I was like, cheerleading's still my thing. I'll do cheerleading. And cheerleading's just not enough, right? Like it's fine, but it's not enough for me.
Yeah.
So, start gaining some weight. I gained probably like 15 pounds
No
my
way.
junior,
Stop
senior year.
playing.
Yeah, like you guys wouldn't believe it. Like it's just the pictures, like my health, everything was just like not great at the time. And so got super down on myself and decided, I'm gonna join Charter Fitness of Kenosha, the first place that got me going.
Charter Fitness.
Yeah,
I actually
Charter.
remember seeing you there.
That's where we met. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
Definitely.
like 7 years ago
I was gonna
now.
say seven,
8.
8 years
Yeah,
ago.
it's crazy.
It feels like forever ago.
Yeah.
When you get my age, you tend to forget stuff like that, and you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm
Right.
just an old person now. So
That's why we
yeah.
work out to keep our memory sharp.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That was actually gonna be my next question. Like, were you always just this fit person, or like?
No, yeah. So like joining Charter, that's what really was starting to be the game changer for me because
Mhm.
I had like gained the weight, but went down the typical girl path of, I'm gonna look into fat burners. I'm gonna eat kind of good, but then I'm gonna do an hour on the Stairmaster in a sweatshirt. And you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You look back, you're like, why was I doing that? Because it was just so much added stress on my body. And I'd grown up in sports where we done lifting for practices and everything. I knew what to do. Yet I'm over here doing an hour of cardio. My body was fine. I built muscle, But at the same time, I was breaking it all down because I was overdoing cardio, or I was trying to overdo my strength training and compensating everything. So
Mm-hmm.
that just made me delve in more, because it's like, oh my gosh, I really want to know more about the body. I want to know what I'm doing, why I'm not seeing as good of results. And then that's when I went into college going, hey, I'm going to either go like the physical therapy route, or I'm going to go at least like personal training. It was something in that realm. And so I knew from there, like, let's just get into training. Let's start learning. And from there, it just kind of blew up. I got a scholarship at Carthage that,
Ooh.
they gave me, like, I filled out a thing for it. I was 19 years old. And I was like, you know what? I really want to like train people. They're like, cool, we'll pay for your cert. We'll get you started here at Carthage. You can train people. I was like, great.
What?
Yeah. So they like
That's a
really
big
helped
boost.
me.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
almost like a fate thing. Like, okay, this is meant to be. Like, this is for me. If you guys are going to like give me that scholarship out of like 25 people that applied, like, this is meant to be for me.
Yes, ma'am.
And then it took off from there.
Yes, ma'am. Well, just to piggyback off of what you say, I do notice, like, with anyone, whether you're like the most in shape, whether you're not in shape, whether you're a beginner, there are a lot of gimmicks out there like that will hinder you from the path that you're intended to start. So let's just say me, for example. Let's say I gained 20, 25 pounds.
Mhm.
Of course, the first thing I'm going to go do is look on YouTube, maybe Instagram, see people who are fit and try to copy what they're doing or how they eat, whatever fat burners they're taking.
Yeah.
And then it's not even good for me, you know, it's just really setting me back, you know, putting stress on my body.
Right.
Even, I can even be prone to injuries and stuff like that based off trying to do what they're doing, you know. So I definitely feel you on that.
Yeah.
So what would be your best advice for someone, a lady? Let's start with the ladies.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We got
Yeah.
the ladies.
Let's start with the ladies.
So what would be the best piece of advice you would give for the women out there who are trying to start into the gym?
Yeah, that's, man, the question, you know, it's so vast, because you got the women who are kind of scared to just even jump into the gym, right? Because they're like, well, what if I look bad? What if I look stupid, right? Which in that case, I mean, look around you, you're gonna see just the same amount of people doing it wrong, you know. Like, no offense to everybody in the gym, at least you're getting to the gym, right? That's the biggest thing, is like taking that step to just get there, or even buying some dumbbells at your house and just getting moving, right? Like, that's gonna be the start. But I think a lot of people would be surprised at how many people in the gym are also faking it to make it. You know what I mean? So I think that just having that confidence to get in there and start doing what you think is good, and then reaching out to somebody is going to be, you know, the most beneficial.
Definitely.
So,
and that's the thing too. Like, a lot of people, a lot of women will always tell me when they say, "Oh, I'm scared to go to the gym or do this." They're like, "Oh, I'm scared of how I look." I was like, I've never seen anyone get laughed at for going to work to get paid. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you're not saying you're getting paid from the gym, but it's like you're there trying, so people will not laugh at you. Everyone's all there. They're all there for the same goal, like to work out and get fit and get healthy.
Exactly.
So what would be your best piece of advice for that?
For the ones trying to get fit and get healthy,
but
and
they're
just
scared of what other people may say or how they feel people are looking at them, you know.
Yeah, I would say just, you know, ignore them, because like I said, like at the end of the day, everybody's going to be doing something else maybe wrong or whatever. And you still have even the guys in there. Girls think that guys just know it, right? Because they've been in sports their whole life. There's guys in there I've seen squatting. I'm just like, your knees and your glutes are so weak that your back's just going to be shot. Your knees are going to be shot. Like, you know, but these girls are like, he's squatting a lot. So they think like, that's it. It's like, no. Like, trust me, like from my point of view, I can see that like he's having his struggles too. He's just acting like it's all good, you know? And so it's really about confidence and then reaching out, you know,
I can
to that
attest
person.
to that, because there were so many things that I needed help on and guidance with, especially when it came to squatting.
Yeah, we worked a lot on that.
I ran into you at the gym. You were able to say, this is what you're doing wrong. You look like you're injured when you're doing this. But without you, I was sitting there doing it, putting 2 plates on, thinking I'm getting it. But really, I'm really just destroying my body, not doing it the right way. And a lot of people are scared to ask, like I was. I was like, oh, I'm scared to ask. But I was like, you know what? At a certain time, you have to step outside of your comfort zone and go get the help what's going to be best for you, you know?
Yes.
Because I look at it like this. There's NBA players, NFL players who go to get professional help for what they're professional at, you know? So you should never be scared to ask for help, because we all are running the same race. We're all humans. We all need extra learning and stuff like that. Because there's people I'll see, they think they know it all, but then you're like, wait, well, it looks like they're doing that the wrong way. And sometimes you just don't get it.
Yeah. But don't be afraid to reach out.
There's a lot of questions that a bunch of people message us on Twitter. I made a tweet. I said, hey ladies, ask us a couple questions. We're gonna have a fitness professional on here so we can take time to answer some of your questions. So I'll just go over a couple. Obviously I can't go over 50 questions in one episode, but nothing's off limits, right? Okay. One lady asked, she said, how do you work out when it's that time of the month? Like,
that's a good question.
How do you get the motivation to get in there when it's that time of the month?
Yeah.
Or how do you feel comfortable working out during that time?
Okay. So I would like to say that everybody's different. Once again, this is definitely a vast question because everybody gets it differently. And so for me, a week before, I get exhausted. My hormones, like, they change, they plummet, I get exhausted. So for me, exercising the week before actually is when I take it a lot easier and I just listen to my body. And I would say that goes for pretty much anybody on, around that time of month, is really listen to your body, because if you're tired, be tired. Like, it's okay. It's okay. I used to be the person, like, when I met you at Charter, like, I was that person 7 days a week. It was Christmas morning, I'm in the gym. Like, my body was so stressed. It's like, chill, chill. It's okay. So I take it easy the week before, usually maybe 3-4 days of working out. And some days might just even be incline walking for 30 minutes just to get a good sweat. So it really just depends. But then the week of, when it does happen, that test boost kind of comes back a little, and you'd be surprised if you can just get yourself to the gym or get yourself warmed up and get moving. You'd be surprised at how good you feel during that time. I mean, it helps with cramps, it helps with the bloating. I mean, you feel so good once you get over that hump. So everybody's different, but I would say just taking that step to get in there and move, I mean, you'll feel really good.
Great piece of advice. There's another question that came in is, what are the best supplements for a woman to maintain that healthy balance while in the gym?
Okay, just in general, right? So that kind of depends on what your goals are in a way, right? So protein powder is always a good option if you need a supplement. Like, I have a lot of nurse clients. So they are at work all day and they're like, oh, I don't know how to eat or like what to take. So protein powder is just a great like supplement when you're on the go and stuff, just in general, to keep your muscle mass, here's something we'll talk about. The protein powder, you're not going to get big off of it, women. So let's get that out of our mind first off. You're not going to get big off of it. It's just like having a piece of chicken, just it could be a little less calories. It's about the same calories. It's not going to make you big. You're not going to get bulky from it. It's just going to be a good supplement if you need your protein. So big proponent of protein powder, BCAAs. BCAAs are great for maintaining that
chain amino acids.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what that is, they're on the train right now.
Yes. Those are those essential like proteins in your body that you don't get enough of. So by taking those, you're going to have a little bit more stamina during your workout. It's going to maintain that muscle as well. So if you're really looking to get that more shredded and tight look, it's really going to just help maintain that without breaking down that muscle that you just worked for. So that, and then really just your multivitamins, you gotta get those in. Make sure you're, as a woman especially, getting your folic acid and all that good stuff. You get pregnant, you gotta take care of the body.
Oh, you just said the word of the day, pregnant.
Yeah, that's the word of the day.
That was another question that they wanted to ask. Like, how do they find the right time to work out pre and post pregnancy?
Oh, okay.
That's why I said that's the question of the day, because I like put stars to that question. People will attack me. They're like, you didn't ask that question. So I wanted to make sure I asked that question.
Yeah, that's the question. Yeah. So that was pre and post pregnancy. Yes, what to do?
Yeah. Is it safe to work out while pregnant and post?
Okay.
Is it
yeah. So I would say pre-pregnancy, obviously, if you're moving and you're already exercising, then when you're pregnant, yes, just keep with your same routine. Obviously that varies depending on what your doctor says. You could have a different pregnancy, right? Could have different things going on, but usually if you're already lifting before you're pregnant, you can ease back. Like, you want to take it easy the first few weeks to let the baby develop correctly and everything like that. But once you're about that second trimester, you can pretty much, there's some that are crazy. You got the CrossFitters out there who are still deadlifting 300 pounds, pushing over the head. Okay, that's a little much. But, if you're already lifting and working out, you can usually maintain that during. The biggest thing that I have, though, are my post-pregnancy women. If you're post-pregnant, I highly recommend working on diastasis recti, your core, everything almost immediately as soon as your doctor gives you clearance, because you have so many women that came to me and they're like, I had my last child 5 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, and my lower abdomen just never came back. Well, it's been so long and you let that stretch out over pregnancy that you didn't try to build that back right away. So those muscles got used to that, right? Your muscles have memory. And so that memory turned into, I'm just going to hang out, I'm going to chill, instead of tightening. So that would be my biggest thing, is your post-pregnancy, really, reach out to me, reach out to, somebody if you know them, and work on your core, because that's going to really change it for you and help you with back problems in the long run.
Yes, ma'am. These women are going to be blushing today with all this information you're giving for free. How do you cope with gaining weight? as a female?
Oh man, that's a huge question, man. I've been down
You
with
don't even
the
have to be a female to cope with that. Because like I
yeah,
said, I need
yeah,
help coping with gaining weight as well, too, especially
right,
with COVID shutting everything down. This is like a
yeah.
general neutral for men and women. How do you cope with gaining weight?
Yeah, well, I don't. When I'm bulking, I'm okay with it. I mean, bulking is a great thing for your body. And,
Mhm.
I've been through the bulking phase where you see the cellulite and, everybody's like, oh, cellulite, but it's okay. If you're doing it on purpose to gain the weight and gain the muscle, it's okay. With every pound of, fat you gain, you're going to gain that pound of muscle and vice versa. So, it's okay to have some of that extra weight on you at times. But, when it's scary and hard to cope with is when it just starts happening, right? You're not doing it on purpose. And so it's always scary, especially as a woman, to see that scale go up. But I try to tell people it's not about the scale, it's about what your body's able to do. So when you see that your body's not able to even actively move anymore and just do the daily activities, that's when it's hard to cope with, because now you're not just living life, you're actually struggling. So if you're gaining some weight but you're still able to live life and be active, then that's okay. Like, don't stress it, just let's fix it, let's get back on track. But it gets scary when you can't even, your health starts deteriorating and all that. So coping with weight gain can be a tricky one. It can be good, it can be bad.
It can be very scary as well too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you watch football, know football. Are you familiar with the get it all back in one play?
Yeah.
So that's a thing that people will say too. They say, oh, when I do gain weight, I'll go to the gym for like a week straight, and then I'll just try to get it all back in one play, and I'm literally in there killing myself. I'm eating clean, but then I just burn out after. Like, how do you recommend going about that?
Yeah, I would say I've been there. I've been there for
No
sure.
way.
Yes,
You
I've
of all
been
people
there.
have been there.
Yeah, when
Oh
I
my
was,
gosh.
started, it was like 7 days a week. And, you have that one week maybe where you enjoyed a little bit too much. So you're like burnt, like doubling up the week after.
Yeah.
You're like, I'll lose 7 pounds this week. And it's like, oh, is that healthy? No, because the way I like to look at it for clients too. So I have a lot of clients who are like, I want to lose 5 pounds this week, right? And I'm thinking, okay, there's 52 weeks in a year. What's 5 times 52?
Oh my gosh, I'm not a mathematician, but it's up there though.
Right?
It's up there.
You're losing like 400 pounds. You want to lose 400 pounds? Your body isn't even close to weighing that. So you're in the negatives now. So I try to remind people that it's not about always the scale, right? Because yes, you want to see it move sometimes. It's cool and all that. But like, stop trying to like work hard one week just to get it all off. Like, your body's going to go in these ups and downs. And that's the beauty of it. It's a journey. So like, take that journey and run with it and enjoy those workouts and know that you're able to move your body. Like, that's so exciting. Like, your body moves, like utilize it and enjoy that time. So
I was one of those people before who was a scale watcher. I would literally jump on the scale every single day after a workout. Then I'm like, what? I worked this way, but I didn't lose anything. I stayed the same. But it's like, oh my gosh, I just noticed like when I don't look at the scale, that's when I get my best results. It's always good to know where you're at and around where you're at, but you don't have to watch it every day. Is that correct?
Yeah. And it just goes for, it's different for people, because I'm a person who likes to step on it almost every morning. And I just like to know, because I like people to gain knowledge from my programs. That's what's different. So if you guys are looking to actually gain knowledge and not just like have another program, come to me, because I am all about, the macro side of things, and I'm about weighing yourself, but not in the sense of like, I want to control your life. I want you to step on the scale and think about, okay, last night, here's how I ate. So now I have an understanding, oh, okay, I'm correlating these two together. So maybe that food isn't the best in my system. Maybe I'm overeating and not even realizing it. So there's things where it can be beneficial and it can be a learning tool, but then there's stepping on it every day going, okay, I suck. Like, this is the end for me, right? That's when it becomes a bad pass. So if you can have a good mindset with it and know that, okay, we're just doing this as a learning tool, it can be a good thing.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Now I noticed you said overeating. Is there such thing as undereating?
Oh yeah, most definitely, right?
Yeah.
Because that's actually really good. So I've been telling a lot of people this lately too, is think of like Antarctica, right? If you go to Antarctica or just somewhere freezing cold, right? You're stuck out there, okay? Your body's just freezing cold, okay? You got some fat in your body. What's it going to do as soon as it gets super, super cold? It's going to burn the fat, or is it going to be like, hey, we need to keep that fat because we might die, So it holds on to that. And it's the same for undereating. You undereat, your body's like, hey, we can't keep you running. We can't keep this fire. There's no kindling, no nothing. So we can't burn anymore. Like, we got to stop, and we're going to hold on to your fat. We're going to keep you where you're at, because you don't know where you're going to be next. You might die. Like, we need this. So yeah, so that's kind of my analogy I use for people. So undereating's not
Yeah.
Good.
How soon are you recommending people to eat after an intense workout?
Usually right away is best, but big into normal eating lately. I'm huge into telling my clients to follow macros for learning purposes again, just understanding foods and everything, but really the intuitive eating as we call it nowadays, which is really just eating. So I am big on that. So if I'm have a client who's just like typical general weight loss, if you're not hungry 30 minutes after, it's okay. Like if you're hungry an hour later, eat. Like you don't need to specifically eat at a specific time right after. It's not like that disciplined unless you're doing maybe like a show or something like bodybuilding. That could be a little bit more, by the book. But listen to your body. Don't wait 5 hours, don't be starving yourself and then be like, all right, I'm hungry now. But within 30 to an hour and a half, eat, and listen to your body.
I asked that to say a lot of people feel like, oh, well, if I work out good, I can eat less and not eat at all, and I'm going to see results. Is that not true?
Right. Yeah. So that's what I was doing. I was all about I'm going to eat less, but I'm going to do cardio for an hour and then I'll even lift on top of it. It's like, what are you doing? Great. My body's sore, but is it sore in the right reasons? So, and I got really stuck in a plateau there. I mean, I stayed the same weight for probably like 3-4 years. It just it was always fluctuating right there. I'm like, I can't do crap right, and I was like, I'm studying this, I'm doing what I'm supposed to, but I wasn't really listening. I knew the knowledge and I could provide it, but I wouldn't listen to it. So it took me a while to get over my ego, I guess.
Gotcha. What's your best piece of advice when it comes to cardio? How often are you implementing that into your clients?
Yeah, so I guess I train all my clients differently, right? They're all in different levels. Some could use different types of training. So some people do better with the hits, some people do better with, they need to build more muscle before their body starts doing what we need it to do. So it just depends. But like for myself personally, I like to do about 3 days of cardio a week. And that could be, between a hit workout one day instead of lifting. It could just be running before a workout, just something to get my heart rate up. But 3 to 4 days is all you really need,
And how long would you recommend people to run if they're trying to lose weight?
If you're trying to lose weight. So if you're, say it's a hit workout, 30, 40 minutes would be good. You don't need anything longer. A lot of people are like, oh, I do an hour and a half. And it's like, you push those limits because your body needs to balance itself between how much you are intaking in food and how much you're burning, because then you can go into the under eating category, right? Yep. So you got to find that balance. And that's why you have, coaches like us to find that for you and help you with it. But yeah, I mean, if you're just planning to run and stuff like that, then, maybe a mile before a workout is all you need. Sometimes it's just that simple, quick mile or just maybe 20 minutes of an incline walk. It's not always as much as we believe it really needs to be.
I didn't forget this question because I know people are sitting on the edge of their seats like, oh my God, is he going to ask? Is he going to ask? But how could you go about getting rid of cellulite?
Oh yes, good cellulite.
I know people are sitting at the edge of their seats like, is he gonna ask that question?
Yeah. So cellulite's that one that I think a lot of people think is just something that like can go away by just drinking more water and getting rid of salt in the body. But really it's your fat deposits. So everybody's genetically different. And some people are going to have a couple more fat cells back there in general. Some people aren't, or wherever it is, actually, I should say, because you get on the front of your thighs, you can get in some other places. So it just kind of depends. But those fat cells, the more you lose weight and the more we can pull that fat out and gain more muscle, those fat cells are going to shrink. So, cellulite's that tricky one. It's not something you can always get rid of, but you can definitely shrink it. I still got some. Everybody has some.
No one's perfect. Is that true?
Yeah, right. Well, you see the airbrush photos, there's airbrush photos out there, of course. No cellulite there for everybody, right? You see the Instagram models. It's all perfect.
That's too funny.
But everybody's got it.
So how could you recommend getting active for those people who work mad hours during a work week? Let's say they have a job where they're sitting at a desk 24/7, or they have to go to work at like 7 in the morning. A lot of people don't really want to wake up that early and go to the gym. How do they find that extra boost of confidence to go after work, or maybe even just start working out at home?
Yeah, right. That's another tricky one.
Especially post-COVID. Well, we're still in COVID, but with everything that's going on right now.
COVID was the game changer for a lot of people. And I'm very thankful that I had some at-home workouts planned for people and everything like that, because I think that really helped people get through. Because that COVID's hard, staying at home so much. But as for that motivation, you've probably heard this a lot lately. Some of you, maybe you haven't, but motivation is always ever changing, right? You're gonna have motivation one day. You're going to be like, I feel so good. I am so motivated. And then the next day you're going to be like, nah. And then the
Yeah.
next day you're going to be like, nah. And,
Very
you
true.
know, and that's going to change again. But discipline's really where it breaks and boils down to, right?
Yeah.
So you got to have discipline in order to get there. And it's the sad truth, you know. And nowadays we want to hear like that. It just happens, you know, things just are good. And, you know, I worked out this week, so everything's fine. And it's like,
Yep. Yep.
no, like you got to put the time in. You got to be
Yeah.
disciplined. And it's really a matter of if you want it bad enough, you'll make it happen. So, you know, if you are tired or whatever it is, then like I said earlier, listen to your body. You know, you might be a day that you do need off, you might
Mhm.
need to sleep, but you know, find that 30 minutes, find 40 minutes to just get moving after, before, wake up a little bit earlier each day. And before you know it, especially the waking up earlier. Can you attest for this? Because you get up
I
early.
love waking up early. That's just me. Because
Yeah.
a wise woman once taught me it's mind over matter. While I was like
Yeah,
down and out, she told me
right.
mind over matter.
I
But
did.
I just love getting there, getting it knocked out, like, and then have the rest of the day ahead of me. Not have
Yeah.
to drag like, oh, well, I still have to do this after work, or I have to go pick up the
Right,
kids and then try to squeeze it. I really just wake up and attack it early, so then I have the rest of the day ahead of me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
And you get, because you got a kid, you
yeah,
understand,
yeah.
like life is busy. And
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, if you just get up, even if you, I always tell people, just do 15 minutes earlier every morning. Before you know it, you're also waking up an hour earlier and you're like feeling good before work too. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not just a matter of you're waking up, but now, you know, you're almost an hour earlier and you can, you know, get that walk in, get maybe just a couple sets and reps in. And before you know it, you're like, oh, even my work is easier. You know, I go to work with a clearer mindset,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, you have nothing at the end of the day. Like you said,
I
you
get
can
to
come
relax.
home.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
can relax, watch a little bit of TV, read some comic books, or even do homework. Because a lot of people are still trying to fit all that in there. Still working, still going to school, or
Yeah.
spending time with kids, you know, or your
Yes.
craft. Whether it's podcasting, whether it's MMA, whether
Yeah.
it's whatever it is, you'll have time to do whatever it is that you want to do after. So
Exactly.
that's why
Yes.
I live and die by going to work out in the morning too.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
highly recommend it. So it's all discipline.
yes,
It's
ma'am.
discipline.
So can you just tell us a little bit of things that you were eating? Because obviously you still have to have like a cheat meal or whatever like that. You have to treat yourself, not cheat yourself. So give us a couple of things that you're eating that are maybe not so healthy, but are kind of healthy as well too, that aren't extremely fattening or full of sugar.
Yeah, yeah. So like I said, I'm doing more intuitive eating because I've done the macro thing. I know what my body looks for now. I'm not doing a show or anything, so I can just, you know, take care of my body, not work on being just most shredded woman
Yeah,
ever,
yeah.
right? So, so right now, just kind of in between, listening to what I need. But I would say the fun things that I have, like I love Power Crunch bars. If you guys haven't had Power Crunch bars, go get yourself Power
Those
Crunch
are
bars.
really good.
They're so good, right? I mean, they're about 220 calories, so they're a little higher in calorie, but in a good way. They can be a good snack replacement, you know, not
Mm-hmm.
meal, but snack replacement. And they, you know, I don't know, we just put them in the freezer and it's just like the best snack ever. It
Yes,
makes me
ma'am.
happy when I have one. I'm like, oh my God, this is great. But I do really well with those. And, you know, some people's bodies just, they take to certain snacks, I guess, and fun things, and without ruining their body. And
Mm-hmm.
this is one of those things.
What are some
So.
of those fun things that are out there that you like? You know what? I'll have this every once in a while or whenever.
Yeah, I don't limit myself fully anymore. I used to be that person that was like
Yeah,
chicken rice and green beans, bring it to, you know, my college class, open it up, everybody's like moving away from me, right?
yeah.
Because it stings like
Mm-hmm.
crap. And used to do that all the time, but then you know what, you get in the like the habit of, okay, well now it's Saturday and Sunday, so I can have whatever I
Yes,
want.
ma'am.
But it
Yes,
turns
ma'am.
into Sunday, Monday,
Oh
and then all of
no.
a sudden you're like, okay, Tuesday it'll be good. It'll be good. It doesn't. You're so disciplined in that mindset that you want to cheat everything. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you're just not giving yourself some freedom. So the best thing you can do is find a diet that's sustainable, you know, not just I need that one cheat meal a week. Have like, what did we were driving home and gummy bears. Got gummy bears on the way home. And I was like, I'm just getting some gummy bears, you know,
Yep.
because I felt it, you know.
Yep.
But I just make sure that I'm still in my caloric deficit or whatever I am if I'm losing weight, you know, or normal maintaining. And you just kind of enjoy. I don't eat unhealthily and I
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
eat that as my 3 meals a day. I don't eat gummy bears
Yeah,
breakfast,
yeah,
lunch, and dinner.
yeah.
But you know, you have some fun with it. And before you know it, you're all of a sudden like, you know what, I'm not craving to eat, you know, 9 slices of pizza on Saturday and then the whole pint of ice cream on Sunday.
Oh my gosh.
You
Yes,
know?
ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am.
I think listening to your body and just enjoying the foods is better than one day a week.
Yes, ma'am. Well, as we get ready to wrap up, what can we expect from you going into 2021?
Oh, yeah. So I actually have exciting news, which is with my website, instead of just doing ebooks and custom training, I'm transferring over not fully to an app side, but I'm going to be doing more of an e-course. So you'll be able, yeah, there'll be
Oh,
different levels. There'll be at home, there'll be gym settings, it'll feel like an app, but you'll still need Wi-Fi. That's the downfall, but we pretty much have Wi-Fi everywhere we go.
yes, ma'am.
And it'll be easy to pull up. You'll purchase it and you can, yeah, you just follow my workouts. I'll have a video log for all of you. And yeah, I'm really excited. I think you guys will absolutely love it. And it's just going to be way better than just seeing an ebook download on your phone. So
Yes, ma'am. I just want to say thank you for coming to Line to Line. Pleasure having you,
yeah,
getting to catch up with you and all of that fun stuff. I wish you well in 2021.
thanks. Thanks for having me. I wish you
Yes,
the same.
ma'am.